Contributors to the Money and Business Show and related programs are not to be considered as endorsed by Radio Shalom, its employees, TE Wealth, TE Mirador, TE Financial Consultants, or TE Investment Counsels, Inc. Visitors to this program are urged to use their own discernment to draw their own conclusions. Please read your prospectus and consult with your own investment advisor.
Live from the studios of Radio Shalom, 1650 AM in Montreal, Canada, the city of Joie de Vivre, the world capital of culinary variety, and the home of the Montreal Canadiens. This is the Money and Business Show with your host, Samuel Izurzer, consultant with TE Mirador, a national wealth management company answering to all your financial planning needs since 1972, known as TE Wealth in the rest of the country and headquartered in Toronto. Every week, Samuel and his guests discuss money, investments, financial services, and the world economy. Over the next hour, you can have your questions about business and personal finances answered. So call 514-738-4100 extension 200 to speak with Samuel and his guests. And now, here is the host of the Money and Business Show, Samuel Izurzer.
Money, money, and business. One of the most misleading but commonly held beliefs is being busy means that you're being productive and accomplishing a lot. The problem is that the busy work for most people isn't focused on the things that need to be done. It's just that busy at work. The busy non-productive tasks include checking emails, making return phone calls, holding brainstorming meetings, reading the news and blogs, updating on social media like Facebook and LinkedIn. Wait a second, you're telling me that I can't check emails and I can't make phone calls and check my Facebook, and how will I stay informed without the news? And if we don't hold a brainstorming meeting, we'll never be on the same page with my workers. Social media is the future, I have to say, current, or I'll get left behind. Well, you could, but productivity will suffer at work. All of us fall into the procrastination trap. The biggest problem are the times we don't know we're doing it. Sometimes checking emails, listening to voicemails, chatting with colleagues, and reading the news makes us feel productive. Then we wonder where our day went and we feel more stressed than ever. Today, live from Boston, Massachusetts, is Mr. Bob Pozen. He's been a top executive at two mutual fund giants, Fidelity and MFS Investment Management. He's also been an attorney, a government official, a law school professor, a business school professor, and a prolific author. As you may be aware, HarperCollins has published his new book entitled Extreme Productivity: Boost Your Results, Reduce Your Hours. This is a fun and short book with lots of practical suggestions about how to get more done at work and be more productive. The key subject we're going to discuss in the next 45 minutes on the show is what counts most is the results you produce, not the hours you log. My name is Samuel Izurzer, your host of the Money Biz Show on Radio Shalom, CJRS 1650 AM. Thank you for tuning in live with our business studios headquarters in Montreal, the financial capital, and the home of the greatest hockey team, the Montreal Canadiens. We have another great show for you today, and as always, you can call if you have any questions, comments, or criticism on today's show. Please call us direct, 514-738-4100 extension 200, or email me at moneyandbusinessshow@gmail.com. I'll look at it once in a while. If you have any questions, if you have any inquiries, if you can visit our website at www.radio-shalom.ca. All our shows are archived there. I work as a consultant for TE Mirador, has been providing corporate executives, CEOs, families, employers, and employees with independent wealth management and financial education since 1972. You can visit our website for my contact information at www.temirador.com. Today's topic: how to increase your productivity and boost your results and reduce your hours, with Robert Pozen, a senior lecturer at Harvard Business School. Today we have Mr. Morris Cousineau from National Bank Financial. How are you?
I'm doing well, Sam. How are you doing today?
Good. I guess we
Good.
fall into that trap, the emails, the Facebook, once in a while.
Yeah, and have you ever noticed some people around you are always moving, coming and going, but they never get anything done? It's like they're stuck in snow or sand. And then others, they walk in, bing, bang, boom, they're gone. You say, geez, they're never in. And then you look and they accomplish a lot more.
Or, yeah, exactly. And the guys who are always busy as hell, but never get things done.
Yeah.
You know, always running around, this, that, but...
Or I remember once I had an assistant at work I was sharing with somebody else, and she was always busy, never had time to do anything. Until she left, I got another assistant. She never looked busy. She got everything done. And I'm wondering, geez, it made me realize stuff,
and
you know?
And this is what we're going to find out today with Robert Pozen. By the way, who is our next guest? Go ahead.
Exactly. Mr. Robert C. Pozen, who is currently senior lecturer at Harvard Business School and senior fellow at the Brookings Institution. In 2012, he won acclaim for a popular book showing professionals how to get more done at work, entitled Extreme Productivity, Boost Your Results, Reduce Your Hours. Most recently, Bob was the executive chairman of MFS Investment Management, which manages over $260 billion for mutual funds and pension plans. During his distinguished career, he has been active in business, government, and academia. Prior to joining MFS, Bob was vice chairman of Fidelity Investments and president of Fidelity Management and Research Company. During Bob's 5 years as president, Fidelity's assets increased from $500 billion to $900 billion. He moved to MFS in 2004 as chairman. During his tenure as chairman of MFS, assets under management increased by over 75%. In late 2001-2002, Bob served as president on President Bush's commission to strengthen Social Security, where he developed a progressive plan to make the system solvent. In 2003, Bob served as Secretary of Economic Affairs for the Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney. You might know him, Sam.
Yes, I know
him. And in 2007...
Saw him last night.
Yes. In 2007, he served as chairman of the SEC's Committee to Improve Financial Reporting. Bob is currently an independent director of Medtronic, Nielsen, and AMC, a subsidiary of the World Bank. He is also a member of the governing board of the Commonwealth Fund, the Harvard Neurodiscovery Center. Bob frequently writes articles for the Financial Times, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Harvard Business Review. He has published a book on the recent financial crisis, Too Big to Save, How to Fix the U.S. Financial System, and a guide for investors entitled The Fund Industry, How Your Money is Managed. Bob graduated summa cum laude from the Harvard College and holds a law degree from Yale, where he also obtained a doctorate for a book on state enterprises in Africa. Go ahead, Sam.
How are you, Bob?
Okay. How you doing?
I'm doing great, and thank you again for taking some time to talk about your book.
Great.
Good.
So, how would you like to start, Sam?
Well, it's very easy. We usually start with like a question, and it's called we call it our small talk. But before we start with the book, Robert Whittemer, Managing Director at Absolute Investment Management and co-author of the book called The Aftershock Investor, he said right now America and its fragile economy are facing two comparable bad paths. As he sees it, we either double up on our already horrendous deficit spending or face our second recession in 4 years beginning as early as next summer. His assessment is highlighted below, Bob. If you spend $1 a second, you wouldn't hit $1 trillion for 32,500 years. And if you spend $1 million a day since the birth of Christ, you wouldn't even be $1 trillion. The Big Bang Theory of the universe happened 600 million years ago. That ain't even close to $1 trillion. And the USA owes about 16 trillion of those. Bob, the way to avoid a recession, is it to increase that deficit as we're going right now?
Well, actually, you have to do two things at the same time. You have to convince investors and citizens that you have a good long-term plan for bringing down the deficit over the next 10, 15, 20 years. And then if you can get that locked into place through addressing issues like defense, entitlements, Medicare, these sorts of things, then you can afford to have a short-term stimulus to help the fragile economy. The economy is just about to turn. It's very fragile, but hopefully the housing market has bottomed out here and will start to come back. And if we can do modest things to help the economy in the short term, that will keep us from going back to recession. And the key is to have long-term discipline so that investors and citizens don't think, well, this is just spending more money. So we got to lock in a long-term fiscal discipline plan.
Is the Fed betting on the housing market to slowly start itching up, going up, doing a little bit better than what it is right now? Because I know we got housing information today, if I'm not mistaken, and it's done very well so far in the past few months. The economic news that just came out.
I think the Fed is betting on the fact that putting more liquidity in the system, keeping long-term rates as well as short-term rates low, will encourage home buyers to get more mortgages, and that will help the housing market. So that seems to be happening, and that's a good thing.
Good. So how did you come to write a book on personal productivity since you are a financial executive?
Well, for about 4 or 5 years, I held 2 full-time jobs. I was chairman of MFS Investment Management, where we went from $130 billion in 2004 to about $300 billion today. And at the same time, I taught a full load at Harvard Business School. And I also wrote some articles for the Harvard Business Review. And they said, gee, you get your articles in on time even though you have these 2 jobs. How do you do it? We'd like to interview you and find out what your secret juice is for productivity. So they ran an interview on a blog. They ran an article. It really took off, and people just seemed very interested. So people were so interested, I thought, well, might as well explore writing a book. And HarperCollins was very interested in publishing it.
Good. So, Bob, your book seems to contain specific and practical suggestions on how to increase your productivity at work. What do you mean by personal productivity, and does your technique work for everyone?
Well, the technique does work for everyone. At the end of each chapter, there are 10 practical lessons, takeaways. You don't have to use them all, but everyone will find some of them will be useful for them. The definition that I use for personal productivity is to increase your quality output for every hour you work. So it has to be quality output, and it has to be higher output. So if you decide to work 10 hours a day, then we want you to get more done. Or alternatively, you could decide, look, I only want to work 5 hours a day, and I want to spend more time with my family. That's okay, too. We still want to make sure that you can get as much done in those 5 hours of high-quality product, so that'll be easier for you to spend time with your family.
Bob, I want you to stay on the line. We have a break here, so stay on the line. Again, today's topic is how to increase your productivity and boost your results and reduce your hours. With Robert Pozen, is a senior lecturer at Harvard Business School. My name is Samuel Izerza for the Money and Business Show, Radio Shalom, CJRS 1650 AM in Montreal. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
Well, I was teaching full-time at Harvard Business School, which I'm still doing, and at that time I was executive chairman of MFS Investment Management, which runs mutual funds and pension assets of over $200 billion.
You also have a lot of extracurricular activities.
I'm on 2 corporate boards, 2 foundation boards, and I'm known to occasionally write an article.
And some of those articles are for HBR and HBR.org. And because Bob always accomplishes this with such frightening efficiency, we decided a while ago to ask him how he does it. And the result was, first, a series of Pozen on productivity blog posts on HBR.org. And now there's an article titled Extreme Productivity in the May 2011 issue of HBR.